Hi everyone. So today this video is going to be very different from what I usually post, and it's going to be a relatively informal video, but I wanted to make this video to address everything that has been happening recently in America. And I'm going to give a brief synopsis for the people who don't live in America or don't watch the news about what's happening currently. But ever since the start of COVID, back in March of last year, the amount of crimes against Asian Americans has risen significantly. Yet, it didn't really explode. Like, it didn't really hit its peak until February of this year, and it's been going on for a while, but it's gotten significantly higher ever since February. And recently, about 4 days ago, there was a shooting in Atlanta where a man went to like 3 different spas in Atlanta, and they were specifically Asian spas, and he killed 8 people, 6 of them being Asian women. And I just wanted to talk about this topic because racism against Asians in America has been so normalized, and while I'm glad that people are finally like making a big deal about it and speaking out about it, I also wanted to give my take on everything that has been happening currently. First of all, I appreciate everyone's support who, supports us no matter what. Like, I think all POC and the white people that respect us as people, I'm glad that we can all work together to create a better place. But it is very heartbreaking to see the people who commonly enjoy Asian goods, like who drink like matcha lattes or watch anime or eat Chinese food, or all of those like type of stuff, like who enjoy Asian culture yet aren't speaking out about this. It honestly makes me really mad, and I think it is so hypocritical and so awful to not support Asians when we need you, even though but you enjoy our culture. And I think that is just so awful. And I know that, like, I don't know, I feel like this is the time to speak out. And I mean, for so long, Asians have kind of been silenced when it comes to media. Like, there are so many like crimes and racism against Asians in this country, yet it's always covered up by people either telling us that we're making a big deal over nothing, or they just use the model minority myth to just kind of silence us. But like, not all Asians are Eastern Asians, and even then the model minority myth doesn't even, it's just essentially, it hurts everyone, and it's an excuse, if anything, to justify racism. And it's so upsetting because like I just really hope the people who are watching this, I hope you all can support us and check all the links that I have down below for GoFundMe's and articles to like inform yourself and everything like that. But I just wanted to talk about this topic because it's very important to me, and as an Asian American, it is very important to me that people are actually caring about this. But a huge problem in America is just the fact that none of these get news coverage. Like, I have seen so many attacks on Asian Americans for like the past like 5-6 weeks, yet like 8 people had to be killed for one of the stories to make the news. Like, I just think that is so messed up. Like, it almost just shows that the news only sees POC struggles as a way to profit. The only reason, and that kind of proves that during the height of Black Lives Matter, news were only covering them simply because they had profitability out of simply because of their profitability. It shows that now, like, with the struggles of Asian Americans and all the recent attacks, no one, the news aren't covering it because they know they're not going to get much money from it, because it's not a very well developed topic. It's not it's not a popular topic. So, and it just, like, it kills me that our struggles are being reduced to money in the eyes of the news. And that is just so upsetting to me. But that's just a brief thing I wanted to touch on. The next thing I wanted to talk about was specifically the Atlanta attack. Now, there are so many things that anger me about how the Atlanta attack was dealt with. I mean, I'm mad that it happened in general, but the way that it was handled was so racist and misogynistic, and just I don't even know where to start, because everything about it was just so messed up. But the fact that people are defending his actions, they're saying that he was having a bad day. Like, I just cannot believe that he reduced the lives of those women to just a bad day. Like, they were people with their own families, and I just cannot believe that the shooter's actions were essentially just justified because he was having a bad day. Like, I can't even wrap my head around how messed up that is. But, and then second of all, like, okay, like, I'll try to explain the situation as best as I can, but he said that the shooter's reasoning for shooting those women, specifically Asian, was because he had a sex addiction where he fetishized Asian women, so therefore he killed those women to get rid of his temptation. And there's, like, so many things wrong with that, because that's not a reason. Like, people are saying that it wasn't a racially motivated attack due to him fetishizing Asian women, like it wasn't an act of hate. But, like, it was still racially motivated, and also that just adds to the whole thing. Like, is it not problematic that he did fetishize Asian women? Because guess what? Asian women are not objects for you to use to sexually fetishize. Like, that is just so messed up in so many ways. And, like, it makes me so angry that in the media, that every single time a white person does something, specifically a white man, shoots someone, commits murder, like, does any sort of crime, yet the media always tries to excuse his actions, either by downplaying them, or saying he has a mental illness, or just essentially, like, saying that it, like, wasn't even, or trying to, like, gain sympathy for him by talking about how he, like, who he was as a kid, or posting his yearbook photo. Like, it is so messed up in so many ways that he was even able to be arrested peacefully, because if it was any person of color who was shooting those women down, who were gunning those women down, I can assure you that they would have been shot on the spot by police. And I just, there's so many things messed up with the Atlanta attack, but I'm not going to go too much into it because I'm going to stray away from my original topic. But I just, like, the Atlanta attack is so heartbreaking, and I just, like, even though I didn't personally know those women, like, I feel for their families so bad, because I know what it's like for your mother to immigrate from a different country and sacrifice her, like, essentially everything to come here for the hopes of a better life for you. And I feel so, like, I feel so much for their families, and those women did not deserve to die. And I'm sorry. It's just, it's heartbreaking and so upsetting, and I just can't believe there are people who aren't, like, who are simply, like, the facts are all laid out in front of them, yet they just choose to turn a blind eye and just to simply say, "Mm, well, that's America." Like, I cannot, like, I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, that is something that has happened recently that has been very upsetting. I just saw yesterday that two Chinese American females were walking down the street and they were like hit by a car, and then the driver dragged one of them for like 300 feet. And I mean, I don't know the details of the accident because there was very little news coverage on it, so I cannot say that like it was intentional, but I feel like dragging someone for 300 feet is not an accident. So I'm not going to say much more about that, but that's also another thing that happened. And then I saw about an hour ago a Thai man was going to the store to get groceries, and then he was beaten up and now he's in the hospital. And I like, if you do not think that these attacks aren't racially motivated, then I think you need to reflect upon yourself and really think, because if you are so mad that people of color are finally getting the spotlight for their struggles, then there's a very big problem, because this is not a spotlight that we want to be under. This is not something I want Asian Americans to have to go through, and for people, like, I want people to care about it, but this shouldn't be happening in the first place. And it is just so heartbreaking that this has to happen. Like, I just don't understand. And that brings me to my main point, is that this just brings me to another point that I'm going to talk about, and it's just like, ever since COVID has started, the hatred towards Asians, and not even just Asian Americans, because I know this happens all over the world, towards Asians specifically, has just been so, like, it has skyrocketed. And I do not understand, because first of all, COVID originated out of China, and what, like even then, like, Chinese people do not deserve hate and to be blamed for a pandemic. Like, you don't see the world blaming like America for influenza. Like, it is so messed up in so many ways, because like, this is not something like, and even if you like blame China for the coronavirus, it is not the people's fault. It is not, like, I am a Chinese person myself, and I cannot tell you how difficult it has been being demonized by the media. And I already know that there's so much Western propaganda against China, and while I do not agree with the Chinese government, that does not mean that the people are bad. And it really hurts a lot to just like be just like so demonized by the media, and then like, we do not deserve to be attacked because of COVID. Like, we are not a virus. And the fact that people are grouping, not like, the fact that this has been about racism and not about COVID this entire time, is because people have been grouping all Asians together. Thai people are not Chinese, Filipinos are not Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese, whatever. They're not all Chinese. So if this was originally about COVID, then only attacks would be happening against Chinese people and not all of these other groups of ethnicities. But clearly it is shown that all of these attacks are just happening towards Asians in general. The people who are saying that they are attacking people out of COVID, it is simply just it's an excuse for their racism. And that just, like, it is so mind-boggling to me that people can even blame an entire ethnicity for a virus in the first place, but to then attack people for this, like, the Asian Americans in Asians in America have literally nothing to do with COVID. We are just as susceptible to COVID as you are. And it is just insane that people are just using COVID as a reason to excuse their racism. Like, we are not a virus. We are not your sexual objects. We are people. And I'm so heartbroken by everything that has happened. And it is tiring for people to keep on telling me that either I'm making a big deal about it or that, oh no, Asians can't go through racism because of the model minority myth. Like, it is so frustrating in so many ways, and I just don't understand. Like, and see, this gives me an understanding that, like, this gives me more of an understanding of Black Lives Matter movement and why it got so violent. Because if we are telling you that these things are happening, this is not okay, this is racism, our people are dying, and you still don't listen? I mean, literally, like, what else are, like, I get it. Like, if you don't burn down cities and trash stores, how else are you supposed to get their attention? You can't, because no matter how much we tell you, how much we are saying that this matters and that this is racism, and you still won't listen. I understand how some people, like, Black Lives Matter had no other choice but to turn violent. And this isn't about Black Lives Matter, but I just wanted to use that as a comparison because I understand the frustration, because I am so personally frustrated myself. And I know it's been really, I've kind of had to gather my thoughts into this video, and it's honestly really scattered, but I just hope, I just hope that whoever is watching this will care about this and will help, because this is not okay. This shouldn't be happening. And even if it is happening, it should not be covered up by the media saying that the people were just having a bad day or that it was never racially motivated in the first place. Like, that is not okay. And finally, I just wanted to share some experiences that I've dealt with racism. And I can honestly say that I am lucky enough to never have been physically attacked for my race, so I'm very lucky for that. But I have still gone through many racist encounters in my life, and especially in middle school. For some reason, it was just so bad in middle school. But like, one time I was in 7th grade and I was in my math class and I was sitting next to my table partner, and I'm not really sure like what we were talking about, but he got kind of mad, and then he told me like really loudly to go back to China. And then the entire class was silent, and then the teacher made me apologize for causing a disturbance in the class. She didn't even, like, that is so awful. Like, I can't, like, I completely forgot about this memory until a while ago, but that was just so messed up, and I just cannot believe my math teacher did not, like, he got no repercussions for his actions, and I was the one who had to apologize for him being racist to me, and that was, oh my god, I completely forgot about how mad that made me. So that was a really dumb thing that happened to me. And I mean, I could tell you guys all about, you know, the constant everyday nagging, constant everyday teasing and bullying and eye pulling, but you know, I'm sure every other Asian has gone through the exact same thing, when it comes to racist remarks, constantly being reminded of that. But that's just one experience I wanted to talk about. And also, I mean, clearly the adults at my middle school were not doing their job, because I would constantly, like, when we were in the line to the cafeteria to get food, it was like on the outside, so it was by the hallway, and there were always adult chaperones there to make sure that we were all like, you know, behaving or whatever. And every single day, I got called ching chong or chink, or, you know, I got this thing done to me, or, you know, I got called dog eater, or again told to go back to China, called communist, you know, the whole nine, you know. And honestly, it's so old. Like, if you're gonna call me something racist, you might as well be creative, but that's besides the point. Every single day this happened, and just by like random people, not even people I knew, and it's like the audacity of you, to be quite honest. But you know, I was kind of a shy kid. I still am. So I never really said anything to stand up for myself, but like the teachers would clearly see that this is happening, yet they did nothing. They never said a word. They never even looked my way, or like I knew that they knew that this was happening, yet they just did not care. And I think that is so awful, and I just that's besides the point, because that happened a long time ago. But I did want to share that that was a personal thing with me. And yeah, so in conclusion, I really hope that I'm sorry that this is different from my usual videos, but this is an extremely important topic that I wanted to talk about. And yeah, I'm sorry this video has been so like jumbled and like weird, but honestly, I kind of just wanted to give you my raw emotional reaction to everything that has been happening and stuff that has been coming out that I've been keeping inside for a while. But yeah, please go check the links down below, and you know, donate if you can, read up on the news, make sure you're informed about what's happening, and please support us. Please don't be silent about this. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Bye.